what's happening, everybody? Welcome to Thrifty Business. It's Thursday night. I'm your one host, Jason Thrifts.
And I'm Grandma Debbie.
Hi, Grandma Debbie. What's happening?
Getting a new grandson tomorrow. They're adopting. He's a 8-year-old little boy, so we're excited.
Now, you mean a real grandson, not like the child sitting there, right?
Oh, no. This is my little. See, I wanted to relate to. No, he's a real boy.
He's a real boy like Pinocchio.
He likes real gifts.
Well, congratulations on the new addition to the family.
That will be 3 for us. Yay.
Woohoo! All right, let's get right into it. Now it's time for Jay's Tiki Talk. Each week, I drink a different rum out of a different tiki mug and try and match it up to my guest. And our guests this week are Kim and Kevin Wren. How are you guys?
We're doing well.
Wonderful. How are you guys?
We're dandy. And you were a good excuse to show something tiki mug wise that I have never shown in a couple hundred episodes. You guys live in Southern Ohio. Mm-hmm. And so my wife's like, well, we got to go with a Southern Ohio tiki mug. And there used to be a bar in Columbus called the Grass Skirt. Sadly, it's no longer there. But they put out this badass skull.
Oh.
And I have never shared a skull tiki mug before, I don't think. But most people would not look at this and think, yep, that's a tiki mug.
No.
But there's their Grass Skirt.
Oh, it's a Halloween decoration.
Yes.
I would think it goes in a fish tank.
And although there is no rum with a Wren on it, your last name, I do have another bird rum, so I thought it's keeping the family. The Scarlet Ibis.
Oh,
there we go.
There we go. So I couldn't find any Scarlet Wrens.
No.
I love your creativity.
I try, and it's all thanks to Stage 2 trying to help me. We're walking around the house going, what's got a bird on it?
You have a whole rum story in your house. So.
Yeah. What are you drinking, Debs?
Okay, I'm drinking my specialty because I am intermittent fasting. What mug is this?
That is Tommy Bahama rum.
Oh, back. Oh, I can't trick you, but yeah, I'm drinking my rooibos and green tea.
And what are you guys drinking?
We're boring.
Yeah.
But I'm drinking out of my Smurf glass, which I always drink out of Smurf glasses. People find it amusing. I have Crystal Light.
All right.
What about Pepsi?
Good for you. And tea.
We use vintage glassware, always.
I like that.
Glass and Pepsi Cola.
I like it. All right. We're going to be talking to Kevin and Kim about the world's longest garage sale. How'd they do? How far did they go? How do you know where to book a room? Did you bring enough cash? Do you have a trailer? All these questions and much more. But first, we got to get to our segment. So sit back and relax, and we'll see you in a little bit.
Bye.
Woo-hoo. And check out our new graphics. And now it's time for our scores of the week. These are the items that you should be on the lookout for when you're out thrifting. Look how cool. So big ups to Nadine, helped us take Thrifty Business to the next level. Now, usually we would run the little crawl across the bottom. We will use that for other things from time to time, but now we have this lovely overlay. So if you are doing shows online and you need some help, Nay and I can make both your videos and your graphics for you. And good job. Thank you, Nay. And man, and plus now, if you go back and watch a show and want to see a specific segment like shipping, it'll be so easy to see that big graphic across the top as you're dragging the little thing down at the bottom.
Good idea. Yeah.
All right, Deb, you're away with scores.
Okay, I am so excited about this. We were in Reno just on a road trip thrifting, and I found actually not one, but 2 sets of these. I think they're a little different from each other, but I paid $2.99, sold it for $52. They're just there's 4 little paperback books in there in the slipcase. Never heard of it before, but I was thrilled.
Like it. This is funky.
I know, isn't that cute? I think I paid $5 for that. I didn't know whether it was a sewing kit. I would look at it as a sewing kit, but anyway, it took a little while to sell, but sold for $29. But I thought that was cool.
I like that purse. I definitely would have picked that up because it's different.
Right. That's what drew my eye to it. And then these women's, what do you call them, writing chap things. We sold these. We took best off for $40 because they're not Harley Davidsons, and those are the ones that go. So we just kind of put a Hail Mary price on there of $79 and got an offer for $40. I paid $5 for them, so we're happy.
Nice. I like it.
And then this is a consignment book that I sell. We accepted the best offer of $65 on that. That book was listed for a whole year.
Wow.
So at $65, we were happy to see it go to its forever home.
Awesome. All right. So I've talked about Harley a little bit in the past. There was a moment where you would buy all the Harley shirts you could find. And then there was a moment where no one was really buying them. But if you find them 6XL and new with tags, you should always buy it. Now, I just want to add a little tip. I do not have a 6XL mannequin. I just don't. So the only way to really show it kind of up and out is I have a 1001 uses for a pool noodle. I have a pool noodle on a hanger, and we use that for the 5XL, the 6XL stuff, just so the person who is buying it can kind of see how it's going to look on them. So another use for a pool noodle.
Speaking of those, you better buy them now because summer's ending and you might not.
Yeah, no kidding. All right, so this is the TIKI Plasma Light. And as you can see, I sold for $127. And you might see that once or twice or the rest of the show. So just stay tuned. But you'll see what I paid for it in a little bit too. But these always sell. More to come on that. And this was one of Stacy's finds. Now, we listed... Oh, I realized I got to edit my thing a little bit better. We listed this, as Debbie said, kind of a pie-in-the-sky price. It was new with tags. $500 was the price I listed it at. Had it up for quite a while. Someone offered me $140 the other day. I took it because a couple reasons. We only paid $10 for it. Woo-hoo. And it'd been up for a while, and it's a lady small, and it's a small. Like, it's tight. So the amount of people who could wear it is not, you know, if it was a medium or a large, I would have held out a little bit longer. But a tiny, small... hey, someone came by. I'm happy. I'm excited.
That reminds me of Rolling Stones. It just doesn't have the tongue in it.
Yeah, but I'm even more excited about this. And let me tell you why. So I sold this for $337. Thank you very much. I'll even give myself a round of applause on that. And two reasons why I give myself a round of applause. It was $10.
Whoa.
And, are you ready? I used the Jedi mind trick. I walk into Savers on Tropicana and Eastern, and there's a couple holding it and looking at it. And I didn't know it was this good of an item, but I knew it was good. And in my brain, I'm like, this is not the barometer you're looking for. This is not the barometer you're looking for. And they went like this. And as they set it down, their arms weren't even away from the shelf yet. Mine were in there, and I grabbed it, and they were like, where'd that guy just come from? I offered it up to Pawn Stars. They passed on it, and it had a good history of sales. And as you can see, I turned $10 into $337. And as you can see, it's sold in Great British Pounds. That means it's on its way to the UK right now.
Good job. That's awesome. I'm going to start trying that trick when someone has something in their cart.
And what was nice was this is not always mounted. This was mounted. So a lot of the ones you see are unmounted. So it was nice. You could just set it and be ready to go. And the original instructions were inside of it.
So you're sure it works? I mean,
well, yeah, it doesn't rain here too often, but yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know exactly what that was for.
But when it rains, I could check it and see if it actually works.
Oh, you mean you didn't have Stacy in the shower pouring water so that it was kind of like raining?
No, I did not. And now it's time for our CD and cassette scores of the week. And as always, we start with flipping cassettes. Now, you might notice, too, that the little in-betweens for the categories, they're different, too. I heard from you. I took a long time to get through my head, but some of you were like, it's giving me a seizure. It was too herky-jerky. Nadine told me. Some of the other people who watched told me. It's one of those things where I just had to sit down and do it, and I did last night. So new opening segments. I still want a little bit of movement, but nothing to give you a seizure. So that was my goal. All right. 98 Mute is a punk band. I had it listed on 5 websites, just hoping for the right eyes. I got the right eyes on eBay today, actually. $15 and away it goes. But even better, Debs. How about a used Pink Floyd for $30 on cassettes? On cassette. If you aren't flipping cassettes yet, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? There's so much money. So yeah, I've been knocking out. There was a period where I wasn't selling too many, but now they're coming fast and furious again. So I'm super excited.
Nice.
And now we go from flipping cassettes to flipping CDs. Okay, this is either the greatest coincidence in the world or someone was watching Mom and I on our show last Sunday, because I actually showed this on the show when we were getting the blue dot, and I demonstrate how I got the blue dot with this one. And the second the show is over, this sold. Now, coincidence? I could be, but man, the timing was crazy. Now, look, Sister Hazel was a popular band back in the 90s. This CD doesn't sell for much just on its own, but it was signed. And so signed CDs always bring some more money. So I was happy that it went this past week.
So is that like a pop band or a country?
Yeah, pop band.
Oh, never heard of them.
All right. So my wife was helping me pull the other day. And so I print off the invoices and I give them to her. And I said, that's a Great White CD. And she said, this title doesn't say Great White anywhere. And I said, yes, because it was listed on eBay Italy and it turned it into Italian instead of English. And so she's like, oh, okay. But again, one song single sold for $25 to Italy. One song promo single.
You are the man, that's for sure.
All right, how about Dio? Now, this CD usually sells for under $10 used, but see that flashback sticker? Meaning this sucker was still sealed. Someone bought this in like 94 and never opened it. So because it was still sealed, I could command a higher dollar amount. That little bit of cellophane really adds to it. So I got $37 for this CD.
Nice.
And I know this is your favorite band, the Jazz Butcher Conspiracy.
Oh, yeah. I listen to them every day.
Cool. So this was their greatest hits. I paid $4.99 at a record store, and I sold it for $39.
Nice.
All right. Pay close attention to this next little graphic. Are you ready?
Hey, wait! Hold up! Don't forget about me!
Whoops. Now it's time for Stacy's Budget Bin Scores.
I love that.
Stacy was here when I was cutting these. I'm like, hey, you should hop into this one. It's your segment.
Awesome.
All right. So Screaming Jay Hawkins, I put a spell on you.
Oh, I know that song.
Yeah, he $1. She picked up a dollar bin and sold for $13.
I didn't know that's who sang it, but I like that song.
Jason, are you listing some CDs only on international sites and not including the U.S. site? Nope. I use a service called Web Interpret that takes my U.S. listings and then redoes them on 6 foreign websites, all for me. I don't have to do nothing. So when it's listed on .com, it's listed on those 6 also. And now it's time for our duds of the week. Do not let our mistakes be yours.
Well, this week, Facebook was the dud of the week because everything I tried to load into our group wasn't working right. Okay, this little game has been listed since 2016. It's had 1,000 views, and it's only $19.99, and it's still sitting here. So I don't know.
Years.
I don't know. But anyway, it's definitely a dud, but it's so small, I don't even know where it's at. And then, we say Christmas sells every day, 368 days a year, and list your Christmas now and don't wait and all that kind of stuff. But this little one's been here since 2017, 816 views, and no one's bought it yet. It's Avon. Come on. I think it's cute. I might just have to keep it.
All right. Since I forgot duds last week, I totally forgot the whole segment last week. I had 2 good sold ones to share. I thought these would be better. These are A.H. Robbins veterinary products, but vintage Eagle USA plastic mugs, probably like 1970s, early 80s. But someone finally said, I'll take them for $12.74 with free shipping. I'm like, good, get rid of them. I've had them up for May 15th of 2018, over 2 years.
Wow. Is that supposed to be some famous veterinarian or something? Or?
I don't know. But, they were cheap. And I'm like, yeah, it's vintage. Everything vintage is good, right?
That's a keyword there.
And then Margaritaville, 19th hole. What's the 19th hole, Debs? Do you know?
Is that the clubhouse?
That is the good God. Good job.
That's where you get your cocktails. I know that.
Exactly. So no one ever wanted this. I finally put it up at auction at $9.99 and someone bid on it. So yay, it left too. At least I charged shipping on that one. But yeah, we all have duds, so don't sweat it if you have a dud.
Yeah, and sometimes our good things turn into duds.
So, Elisa, I wonder if some unscrupulous people re-shrink wrap CDs. They can, but when you get them, the shrink wrap from a company like Sony or Warner Brothers and the shrink wrap from your home, totally different shrink wrap. So you would know instantly. Instantly. All right.
Good point.
Back to it here. And now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping. Nope. And now it's time for Where in the World Did Our Stuff Go? If you are not shipping internationally, you are leaving out 7.3 billion with a B potential customers. Dang it, I was doing so good this episode and I hit the wrong button. Oh, and I guess I'm up first. Oh, you don't have one. That's right. Okay, remember this little lamp that I showed you just a few minutes ago? Well, it's off to Osaka, Japan. So someone in Osaka, Japan is setting up their little tiki lounge, and they needed the tiki plasma lamp. So we've now seen it as a score and a Where in the World. Where else might we see it? And now it's time for You Have Got to Be Shipping Me. What to do and what not to do when it comes to shipping.
Okay, I bought something on eBay, just these little necklace things, and it came wrapped so well, I could hardly get it open. I was like, what? It couldn't break. So anyway, it gave me the idea to leave at the end of the tape, leave a little folded over so they have a little handle. So
I like that.
Yeah, because I'm not kidding. I was unwrapping it, and it was just a little thing, and it was frustrating. And I always think of senior citizens and people who have wrist issues and things. Make it easy so people can get into your product.
I like that. Just fold them back the end a little bit so you can start to pull. Why have I never thought of that?
That's why you have me.
Thank God I tuned into Thrifty Business tonight. Thursdays on YouTube, 8 p.m. East Coast. Okay, so we could ship this straight up and down, but I'm giving it a thumbs down because I also discovered that it comes apart. So you don't have to use as tall of a box. You could just use a thinner box. Yeah. So depending on what box you could ship it the other way too. So depending on what box you have around, but the nice thing about this product, you could ship it one of two ways: low and flatter, or taller and skinnier. So if your product comes apart easily, where the customer can easily just put it back together, don't hesitate. Do it. When my mom and dad sell that giant stuff, a lot of the times they say, look, this is going to come apart because we can't ship it like this, but we can take it apart and ship it like this. So just be ready to put it back together.
Now, did you tell our viewers that light, when it's on, when you touch it, it does the electrical?
Wait.
Oh, sorry.
Oh my gosh. You might see it in another coming segment or two. Hold your
left.
Hold your horses, young lady.
I guess I should have, instead of that, I should have said, hey, it was Seahawks colors, blue and green.
And now it's time for the Thrifty Tips of the Week. Little tips and tricks to help you out when you're outsourcing.
I love it when I don't remember what it was. Okay.
See, Craig, she does it to herself.
Yeah, that's right. Someone in the thrifting board had, they talked about zooming on their camera to see a marking. And I don't think I know how to zoom, but what I did was, inside of this cool little napkin holder, there's a label. Sometimes when you're in the thrifting stores, it's too small. I don't have glasses, I should, or it's too dark. So I took a picture and then I opened it up like that with my fingers, so I could see and read what was in there. So sometimes when you're out and about, either markings or, if hers was stamped into metal or whatever, if you can't, take a picture of it and then just zoom it bigger with your fingers or however you want to do zoom. And then I could read it really easily. And your loop, some people carry their loop. I have one. I never take it with me, but a jewelry loop is great for that too. But that's why if you forgot that, you should have your camera, your phone.
Hey, Deb, have we seen this lamp before?
No, tell me about it.
All right, so my thrifty tip of the week is source on other websites. Look at their short, inaccurate title. I mean, it's accurate, but not enough. Electric tiki lamp, $25.
Wow.
I sold it for $125 because they didn't put in the brand and they didn't put in plasma. That's what you got to put in. So they did.
Plasma means it sparkles.
Yep. Plasma lightning is what it's called. So when you know a product well, hello, Tiki, source online. Look every day online because you'll find so many products mislabeled, mispriced, bad titles, bad pictures. You can pick them up and then flip them back sometimes on the same platform.
True. And when you shipped this to Japan, I wanted to let people, we shipped a Disney hat box tiki mug to Japan. And I looked, remember I shared in that one area, there were 8 tiki bars. So make sure you're at least shipping your tiki and aloha shirts and things to Japan.
Oh, yeah. And now it's time for our online selling tips of the week. It doesn't matter if you're selling on Etsy, Depop, Mercari, Poshmark, or eBay. These are little tips and tricks to help you when you're selling.
Okay, this is thanks to Jerry. I think his last name's Vetter. He's in the thrifting board. We were talking about how to do the blue dot, how to circle it full circle, and which ones are missing. So I laid the steps out there, step 1, step 2. If you follow through those steps, it will take you to a report you can download, and then you can just look through and see the title, go, open that in a separate eBay and find those listings.
Download.
Yeah. Download it. It will only let you do, I believe, 3 categories at a time. I thought it would be 3 items, but I think it's 3 categories at a time. So you could maybe have 50 shirts in a category, and it'll let you. And then you go over there, and all you have to do is just read the title, then go on your eBay and find that item, and then you can check your what do you call it? A dot, your blue dot.
Your blue dot.
We found some of ours were already all filled in, so you might find that, and that's good. Just keep going on, but that's the way.
Blue dot.
Yes. Stare at the blue dot. It makes you money.
You want it to be complete.
Yeah.
All right. So my selling tip. Hey, does this look familiar?
I've never seen that. Oh, those are Seahawks colors.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a couple tips here. The lamp looks a lot different off than it does on. So my first tip is this is the time when you want to what we call collage a picture. So I took 2 pictures. I used Pick Collage, the app on my phone, and I put the on and the off together. Also, this is the rare time I would not yell at you for having your hand in the picture, because when you touch this, the lightning follows your fingers. Third, have a video, and have a video because it's a light on and off. So I start with it not even on, then I will turn it on, and then I will turn the rest of the lights off so you can see it, and then I will get my hand in there because this looks cool, but it looks even cooler when you put 2 fingers on it. See? All right, so collage it, video it, and that rare time when getting your hand in there is okay because it does something when your hand's there. That doesn't do it any other time. So there you go.
I'm sending that out to the universe. I want us to find one. I want one.
Yeah, well, I have a few more. I keep finding them online, so mislabeled and mispriced that I find them all the time.
They're cool.
And now it's time for Unseasonably Sold. What did you sell out of season?
Oh, Halloween Starbucks mugs. I think we paid $9 each for these. We were up in, I think, where were we? I can't remember where we were, but we kept walking. Oh, maybe we were in Lake Tahoe, and we saw these out. When the Starbucks seasonal ones come out, they were kind of hard to find because the franchise stores weren't carrying them, but the grocery stores had them. So we sold it for $41.99 for the pair.
And funny, as I said before, we don't plan what we're all each going to show. You shared a mug. I shared a mug, but mine's a little bit different. Mine is the Disneyland Trader Sam's. When the Jungle Cruise changes to the Jingle Cruise, this is a elephant and her baby from the Jungle Cruise for Christmas time. And if you go look at this mug later, I implore you to go look it up. Go to the solds. You will see a lot of 30s and 40s, and mine at 85. You know why mine sold for 85? Because I asked 85 for it.
I was going to say.
Every other sold is half or less. You aim low, you get low. You aim high, you might get high. You might have to take a lesser offer, but you can't ever get it high if you don't ask. Gotta ask.
That's the thing about
Did I show this mug last week? Shoot. All right, I'll show it again.
And we have one of our own. We're not selling it. And then you said there's a guy that's painting these and making them even better.
Yeah.
But that's the thing about when you're checking solds, you might see this stitch kit sell for $20, but we know it'll sell for $100 all day. So you have to really pay attention. Some people don't $20.
Sorry, Deb. And now it's time for Close Encounters of the Thrifty Kind.
This is so fun. While my husband was in the hospital having heart surgery, he had 2 stents put in. My mom and I were thrifting. And I said to my mom, one thing I always look for and I never find are overalls. And she goes, okay. So we left that store and went to another one. And then on the third store, I'm on one side looking at dresses. And I hear my mom say, oh, Debbie, come here. And I went around the corner. It's 5 pairs. I thought it was 8. It's 5 pairs of the hugest overalls. They're Big Macs, and one of them has a pennies tag on it still. And so I put the sizes there. I think we got 3 of the first size there. They're huge.
Whoa. I just noticed 50 by 38. That's a tall dude.
60 by 32. I know.
The 32 inseam though is more normal. 38. Yeah. I'm 6'5". I do have shorter legs. I have a longer torso. My inseam's 32. So imagine 6 more inches of leg on me.
And that waist size, I know
that's like Hacksaw Jim Duggan, or that's a big dude.
They're really heavy to hold them on, and I only paid $4 each for those.
Nice.
It was supposed to be a little bit more. I was driving back to the hotel, and I told my mom, with everything we bought. So yeah, but we haven't sold any yet. We haven't listed 2 of them listed so far. I mean, they're a moose to try to take.
So thank God your husband had to have surgery. See.
I know.
All right, mine isn't a huge Close Encounters because I went there to meet them. But it is very rare you get to thrift with 3 generations of a family. So this is Cheryl White Cotton, who is a member of the Thrifting Board and the Secret Beach, her mother and her daughter, and they were in town passing through 2 weeks ago. So I said, yeah, I'll meet you down at Savers half off Monday. So we scouted the store, and all 4 of us found things that we needed to flip. So it's very fun and rare to source with 3 generations.
That's awesome.
Angela wants to know if those are Sanforized denim.
I don't know. How would we know? Would it say so on the label?
It would. If
okay,
it is.
We'll look from there. And I don't think they've ever been worn. They're very stiff. So.
All right. So little upcoming shows. I'm getting used to the new graphics. Okay, Secret Beachcombers, don't forget, tomorrow night is our cocktail party for August, and it will be the awards for the best scavenger hunt. And I gotta tell you, y'all are trying to push it here, including my co-host tonight. It's pretty cut and dried what a kitchen appliance is. It's pretty cut and dried what jewelry is, and it's pretty cut and dried what a Christmas ornament is. Wait until you see the things y'all try to sneak through tomorrow night. So it should be another fun cocktail party. We're making Chief Lapu Lapus. So if you're in the Secret Beach, the link will be up tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow night, 8 o'clock East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast. My mom has something to do on a Sunday. What, Mom?
I have to mute a second. Our dog is something's wrong with our dog.
Okay, go ahead.
Bill went to her. I hope she's okay.
So Sunday, no show. So because Mom's busy. Mom's got a better social life right now than I do. So no show. Sorry. Yay. But we'll be back the following Sunday. So if you've not watched the Blue Dot Show, go back and watch it. It definitely is eye-opening. And then next week, my good friend Stephanie owns the Glam Factory right here in Vegas. It is a world famous vintage clothing store. And when I was having Nadine do the artwork, she goes, world famous? I go, yep. Majority of her customers come from Europe and Japan just to shop at Stephanie's store. Yep.
Wow. I was
celebrities roll in all the time to buy stuff, and her store is separated by like 40s, 50s, 60s, or Hawaiian shirts, vintage flannels. And this city, I don't know if it's normal in every city, they'll come in and inspect. If she's got anything modern in there, she's in trouble. She has to keep it vintage. So she can't have like a 2010 shirt that looks vintage in there mixed in with the vintage clothes. That is her license for vintage only. So we're going to talk to her. How does she source to keep that much stock? How's she doing in the pandemic when we're closed down? And she didn't have air conditioning for a week, the hottest week of Las Vegas. So we'll find out how she did with that too.
And I know what celebrity came in her store. I'm sure there's many, but I know.
Oh yeah, I know a couple. Oh, and she's got pugs. So all kinds of fun stuff next week. But it's one of those shows where even if you're not into vintage clothing, think about, hey, what if you wanted to open a store? How do you do it? How do you make sure you find the stock? Her sourcing tips are going to be good for all of us. Okay,
it's going to be amazing.
All right, now what do I got to do? I got to do this. And now it's time for the Thrifty Business special guest of the week. Oh, I was so close. I forgot to take the upcoming show thing off. Dang, that was almost a perfect show. Almost.
There.
Hi, guys. What's happening?
Hi there.
Hello.
cheers. This
Cheers.
thing is so big. This is like a drink for 3. And when I poured in a regular drink, I'm like, oh, that's so tiny. And then I'm like, oh, no, it's not.
My OCD wants to turn that up the right way. All the liquid would come out.
All right. So you guys lived my dream. And I know it sounds weird and silly. You should dream big. And my dreaming big means I want to go to a garage sale in Alabama. But it's one of those things I've always wanted to do. And you guys went and did it this year. And so I'm so very excited to hear about it firsthand. If you don't know, this is called the 127 sale. So world's longest garage sale.
Mhm.
Now, do you guys think it starts in Alabama or do you think it starts in Michigan?
No, it starts in Michigan.
I think it starts in Alabama.
I actually agree with you. It starts in Alabama and it goes to Michigan. And that's because it's grown out of Kentucky into Ohio and out of Ohio into Michigan.
Right. That's what I knew. And when I was reading
started in the South and has moved north.
Yeah. And when I was reading the other day, they said it starts in Michigan. I'm like, no, Michigan's just been added the last couple of years. So
yeah, that's just because they're trying to start north and go down south. But yeah.
So so we'll get into that in a quick sec, but let's give a little history of you guys. So when did you start your online journey, you two young kids, you?
Well,
Let Kim tell the story because she started long before I did.
I always say I came with eBay. I started in the late 90s. I had one of those eBay accounts that was an email address back when they did that. And then they changed them over and I lost that account because I didn't know how to get into it because technology wasn't that great then. And so, yeah, I've been doing this a very, very long time. I started selling full-time back in the 90s, really about 2000, and I sold full-time just vintage and collectibles until 2007.
Wow.
And then I flipped over and I helped Kevin with his business, and we sold industrial products. And I did that and brought that online and did that until 2014, and then I went to SKU Vault. What I've never done is I've never given up selling vintage. It's always been my hobby. On top of everything. So even now working full time, if we didn't sell, we'd be hoarders because I like to source.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Isn't that true? Hands up in the chat. Who's true about that?
Right. So we have to sell because, we like to go buy the stuff. We like to go to the sales. We like to go shopping. We like to go thrifting. I love the big garage sales. I've done a ton of those different ones. No, back then we didn't. Well, we could take pictures back then with Polaroids and we scanned them.
Oh my God.
Even before that, though, remember the first couple of years, you couldn't. It was just words.
Yeah, and Kevin and I bought our first digital camera when we were on a cruise. We cruised to the Virgin Islands and we found a digital camera there cheap. It was probably like $300, but it was cheap for what they cost then. And so we bought it because it's like, ooh, now I can take pictures. But getting it into eBay was not easy. Not back then. So, yeah, I've been doing this a little while. But then Kevin, a few years ago, had to retire for medical reasons. And he's been taking over and learning. I introduced him to Jason and the whole team. And he loves it. And he's been learning. And he's figured out the love of going and finding all that vintage stuff. And
yeah, and I gotta say, Kevin, I've seen you, because look, we all have our specialty, we all have our lane of knowledge, but I've seen you, you're like, I don't know about this music cassettes, but I'll figure it out, I'll learn. And so I've seen you like grow into figuring out different products and not leaving the thrift store like I gotta go look at this other stuff too.
Yeah, the sports and other things are much more natural to me. Music I listen to, but I didn't pay attention to who they were or what the details were. So,
and me, I was watching the comments earlier in the week. I'll take a chance on anything for 50 cents. I don't give a shit. I'm like, who cares? Let's buy it. We were in North Carolina last week and we were in a thrift store and they had cassettes for 50 cents. And I'm like digging through, pulling all the Christmas ones out and anybody that I knew from the 70s. And I'm like, who cares? It's $5 for a bunch of cassettes. And so I'm just buying stuff, and because our phones weren't working.
Oh, bummer.
Oh no, yeah. Thrifting without resource, without
yeah, but that's what we used to do.
And when to talk about how we go
mailed cash,
yeah. When we the way it's been going the last couple of weeks, 2 weeks ago was 127 sale. Then Kim bought a big auction online that next week. And then last weekend we were in North Carolina and we brought back a trunk full. Our garage is full.
Yeah, we have a lot to list.
I think it's time. I think it's high time for you guys to hire somebody.
We set a goal while we were on vacation. We set a goal of where we need to be before we will hire someone part-time. Because
the goal is Friday. That's tomorrow. And just hire someone to take the pictures. That is
we run businesses and we've had employees. I'm not in any hurry to do that again. So
my business had 17 employees. I don't want to do that again.
He's got to find a teenager next door to take the pictures. It's so easy.
Yeah.
So
I
love my teenager. She comes over. She knows how to take pictures. She puts on her music. 2 hours later, she's like, I'm done. See ya. It's like beautiful.
One of those. Kim, do you still list? Do you help with the listing process or do you just do the finding?
Not very often. If he's stumped on something, he'll take a picture and start it and send it to me. And I think I irritate him because I like write titles really fast because and especially when you get into the things I just know them and I know the keywords. So I'm like, boom, 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 boom. And I'm done. He spends 2 hours researching it. And I'm like, oh, I have it finished in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I will say,
way too often.
If you do hire somebody to do your listings, like I've done that too, that's my other employee. When it comes to things like Tiki mugs, there is no point in having her try and figure it out.
Right.
So if you have this deep specialty that's tough to just know, like sports cards, you can look up. You get all the information around the sport card. If this didn't say grass skirt on the back, you'd be like, what the hell is this? And so it is still much quicker for me just to, the teenager will take the pictures and then I'll just knock out the listing because I can't teach a non-Tiki person all this Tiki knowledge.
Right.
CDs, I can teach them. Here's how you look up the barcode. Then you got all the information. But these mugs, if they're not marked, so when you get that person, don't waste their time with stuff that you can knock out, like Kim said, just really quick. It's
Right.
silly.
Right.
Jeans, CDs, knock your socks off. You can look that stuff up all day.
Yep.
Because then you run the risk of it not getting the right keywords or whatever, and not selling.
Yeah.
it for the amount.
Yeah.
All right, so let's pop this up here.
I want to do this.
I found a little news story. So I'm assuming since you guys live in Ohio, you started up that way and headed south, or did you fly south and head back?
We're in Dayton, so we're only about 30 miles from 127. We stayed in our area. Now, let me say too, this is not my first trip to 127. This was my 5th trip to 127.
Don't tell me that. I'm super jealous now. Don't tell me.
It was my first one.
It was Kevin's first.
Okay, I feel better now.
We started in a little town called Camden, Ohio. We drove across from Dayton, and I was really shocked when we were going across the state routes over to Camden that there were no sales on those off routes on our way to 127. Because in Kentucky, you'll find sales 34, 40 miles out, possibly from 127. I mean, the neighborhoods are 5, 6, 10 blocks off and people are running sales. They're everywhere. But in Ohio, they kind of stick right to the highway. So we got to Camden and we went, we stopped at our first sale, and it was a campground that they had done spaces for with spray paint. And so there were, 50 or 60 people there selling.
Booths, 50 or 60 booths, right?
Yeah. So that was our first stop. And we spent quite a bit of time there. It was actually our best stop of the day. It was the first purchase we made.
Yeah, that's a bummer.
Yeah. But
too early.
it was, but Kevin's looking at me because I'm digging through these boxes and I'm like, he's just standing there looking at me like, what the hell are you doing? Because I'm just yanking crap out and just throwing it at him.
She's saying that I'm standing there watching her, but I'm learning. I'm watching what she's doing and figuring it out a little bit at a time.
I'm just like, here. But everything in these bins was $2. And then the lady only ended up charging us $20 for everything that we got.
And it was 2 big boxes full.
Yeah. And one of the items that we picked, I knew when I pulled it out that it was worth $125. I'm like freaking out when I got it. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. And he has no clue.
So Debbie, have you ever done any long garage sale like that?
When we lived in Washington, there was a nice neighborhood by us, and you would walk. And we have one here too. Just walking.
But not like a 20, 30, 40, 50 mile one.
No.
I've only done one with Mom. Stacy and I and Mom went out east to Ohio. I think it was a Route 11 sale that went up and down Nowheresville. And we found good stuff. And so that really whetted my appetite to go to this one. And there's other long ones too, but this is the big one. So the other times you've went, Kim, were you always up north or were you ever down south?
The other times were always in Kentucky. We used to have a camper, and Mom used to go with me a lot, and Kevin still worked full time, and I did eBay full time. So literally I would plan my year in January for all of the sales, because Ohio and Kentucky have a lot of long sales. So in January I would get all the dates and I would figure out where I was going. But 127 was, that's the cherry on all of it. That's what you have to go to. But Mom and I would go down. The first year we went to, where did we go? We went to Owenton, which is it's in northern Kentucky. And we stayed there. We found out that we were too far north. We needed to be a little further south. So from there, next few years, we always went to Frankfort and we camped in the Frankfort area. And what we found is we could drive like 100-mile radius constant all the way around there and have a base at our camper right there in Frankfort. And we were great. And we never hit everything. We never got everything done. We came back every year with the van loaded, every year. And once we had the camper, because the first year we tent camped, and then after that, when we had the camper, I also loaded crap in the camper because we would buy so much that everything was full. So it was great. And I always find it ironic. I lived down there for 5 years, and I never went to the 127 sale when I lived right next to it.
Oh.
Isn't that how it goes?
I know.
All right. So what was a $125 item?
Yes, we're all dying to know.
So Avon, which is normally not worth crap.
Ding dong.
But Avon, if you can find Christmas items that are vintage Christmas items from the 80s and 90s, for Avon, they actually have a value. And Avon in the 80s made this Christmas calendar it's an advent calendar countdown, and it's a green cloth thing, and it has a little mouse that goes into the slots to do the Christmas countdown. The only reason that I know exactly what it's worth is we had one when my kids were little, and the dog ate the mouse.
Oh my.
Yeah. So my daughter's been looking for one for years, and she's always like, "Good God, Mom, these things sell for $50 to $125 on eBay." And I'm like, "Well, if I ever find one, I'm buying one, but you're not going to get to keep it. I'm selling it." So
nice, Mom.
This is new in package.
And this one's brand new in the package. It's never been opened.
So it has the mouse. The mouse is in there too.
Oh yeah, it's sealed.
It was kind of like that DOCD. That DOCD was sealed from like 93. Yeah. It's 2020.
I know.
You never wanted to open that CD that you bought in 93?
I know.
What?
Well, wait a minute. I think my Avon coffee mug I showed earlier is from the 80s or the 70s. And it's
not everything.
Not everything. And normally, like I said, I won't give Avon a second glance. I'm just like, no. But yeah, some of the Christmas stuff, because the kids that grew up during that period, they want their memories back. So
oh yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I knew what it was, but yeah, it's a countdown. Yeah. See, somebody said they've got it. But yeah, they're worth $50 to $70 if they're open, and they're worth about $125 if they're new.
Speaking of countdowns, if you go to the website, it's 340 days, 6 hours, 13 minutes till the next 127 sale.
Well,
so start planning now. So
for those that are interested, Jason, I have a present. Can I put a link somewhere?
You want to message it to me and I'll pop it up?
Yeah. I have a doc that I put together today from some of my notes. How do I message you?
Facebook. Just send it to me on Facebook.
Oh, got it. It has a list of most of the large garage sales, and there are some coming up in October in Kentucky. In fact, there are 3 one weekend in Kentucky.
All right. So while she sent that to me, as you can see, it is a 4-day sale. So while you're sending that to me, did you last all 4 days?
Oh God, no.
I can't.
Did you last 2 days? Did you last 2 days?
No, we just did a day.
We were there on Saturday. She got to work all week, and I can't last that long.
But I
You
used to
have been
do
sick.
I used to do all 4 days, and we're actually going to go to Kentucky and do one of these sales in October, and we're going to do 2 days, but we'll do like 2 half days because
I think we should have a thrifting board meetup and we all go on a long field trip. We could do like pass the baton. Someone could do
Yeah, the only problem, I mean, this is even a problem at a regular like flea market. You start with your friends, but you all shop at a different pace. So
Yeah.
by the 7th booth, you're nowhere near the people you're with. Like
Right.
Stacy and I are good staying together, but even when we're with my mom, we're like rows apart now. And don't try; it's impossible.
it
Kim,
really is.
Kim and I are not the same speed.
No.
Yeah,
That's okay. Then we cover more territory and then we meet up at night.
We do. And one of the things that I found too is with us going together, I have zero interest in anything sports. And Kevin has started buying like baseball gloves and bats and things like that. And he can spot that stuff. Me, I'd walk past it and go, looks like junk to me. But he bought a bunch of, when we were there at one of the sales, he bought a lot of baseball gloves and baseball
Four
bats.
gloves and 3 bats for $50, and the gloves by themselves are listed for over 125.
Oh my gosh.
nice.
And the bats still aren't even listed. So
Right.
yeah.
All right, so if you're watching this live right now, and this is August 27th, Thursday night, the link is in the chat. But if you're watching after the fact, I will have that link down below. If you remind me, Deb, I'll stick it down below later so anyone can click on it after the fact. So Angela wants to know, is there furniture along the way, and should I bring my 16-foot trailer?
There's everything. You can buy anything from, a thimble all the way up to a whole bedroom set and everything else in between. So yes, bring your trailer. But be careful because here's one of the things that I learned way back when. We had a Savari van that I yanked all the seats out of and used it to haul crap.
I yanked the seats out so she could go.
Yeah. I drove that thing places I should not have driven it. And I was telling Kevin earlier that one time Mom and I were in Kentucky doing this sale, and I went up a hill that was gravel and dirt. And I truly wondered if I was going to make it back down the hill without burning out my brakes, because it was really steep and there was no pavement.
She was in a one-wheel drive van that the 4-wheel drive vehicle should have thought twice about.
And there's a lot of that on those kinds of sales. It's Kentucky. And your stereotype of some of these areas are true. Some of those areas are pretty back road. You can get way back off the road in some of these and find some really the Mike and Frank moments from the guys on the History Channel, whatever their names are. Yeah.
Yeah, you keep referencing them. How about referencing Thrift Hunters?
I used to watch you on Thrift
Yeah,
Hunter.
you, in your notes, you referenced American Pickers. I'm like, where's the love?
You stayed a little more in the city.
Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, we're in the country too, but I mean, the episodes are based around a city.
Yes.
Oh, my mom's texting me because I missed her little thing.
Uh-oh.
I missed Mom's important message.
Uh-oh, drum roll.
There we go. This is State Route 7, 60-mile sale coming up September 5th. So if you're in Ohio on the east side, Conneaut to Hubbard, 60 miles. And that's where I found that rare skateboard they sold for like $400 in a corner out of business gas station for $7. So yeah, there's good. I was fighting Amish ladies for Tupperware. There's good stuff to be found on the east side of Ohio.
Route 7's the River Road, right?
I think.
Wow. West Coasterners, we know nothing about that.
All right, so let's talk a couple other things that people need to know. Do you just take a boatload of cash? Is there ATMs? Do people take credit? Do they take PayPal? How's it work?
So rarely will they take debit or PayPal. The dealers will that are set up, but you're also not going to get as good of a deal from a dealer that you're looking at and talking to. Now, we did talk to a couple of them this time, and they did say we've discounted because we're outside of our shop and we're trying, they were bringing stuff they were trying to get rid of. But we took cash. ATMs are not difficult to find. You're going through towns, so you can find ATMs. You're probably going to pay a fee because it's probably not going to have the bank you want. So prepare for that. Prepare for not possibly being able to find a hotel room if you're in Kentucky. Plan ahead because this is State Route 127. There are not, there's not a Holiday Inn and a Hampton Inn on every corner. there might be, Ma's bed and breakfast or something, but you might not necessarily find hotels. Stock up on quarters.
Yeah, because my mom, everything she finds is a quarter. So that's always my thought. I would have grandiose ideas that I could cover 700 miles in 4 days. How do you know? Well, when you camp, that's one thing, but how do you know if you've never done it, how far you're going to travel in a day? Is it 5 miles or is it 100?
You start at your starting point and go until you're tired, then you drive back.
Okay.
So then the next day you drive back to where you ended, and then you keep going forward.
That's what we used to do. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why we would stay in Frankfurt, because that way we could go south 2 days and we could go north 2 days, and just stay within 100-mile radius, and it wasn't a problem. Oh yeah, you always try to barter.
Absolutely.
Oh, Peggy would be good there.
And even though Bridget isn't in the chat tonight, Angela's volunteering Bridget's house to stay at in Kentucky.
Yay!
All right, Stacy has a good question. What about bathrooms? Jason has a small bladder. I do.
In most of the larger fields and that, they'll have porta potties set up. So be prepared for stinky porta potties. Yeah. Otherwise, you just plan on trying to find a gas station or something along the way. But again, you have to think about the fact that you're kind of in the country. So plan ahead.
Plan the fishing trip or your hunting trip usages for bathroom facilities.
Because you might not find anything.
Don't drink anything all day. Don't drink anything.
It's hot. It's August and it's hot. You need lots of water. You need lots of water. We used to take Bounty paper towels and put them in our cooler to wear on our head to keep us cool, because it was so hot. And Bounty paper towels actually hold up really well when they're wet.
All right, so let's see pictures of that. Oh, wait. You didn't take any pictures? How do you go to the world's longest garage sale and take 0 pictures?
I don't know.
I mean, there was never a point you're like, look at all these full snap. I mean, I said to Kevin, I go, can I see the pictures of the weekend? He goes, we didn't take any. I thought he was kidding.
At least I took pictures of what we bought.
Yeah, I go, well, that's good. We'll show those. But how about pictures of like the throngs of people and cars and, hillbillies and trees selling little trinkets? Anything?
No.
I was more worried about finding places to park during those periods.
Well, I mean, I could have been taking them because I'm usually snapping pictures of everything, but it never even crossed my mind to take pictures of garage sales.
Of course, we also didn't realize we were going to be on here.
True.
This time, and we're going to have you back on with all your pictures.
I'm going to do the Kentucky one in October. I'm taking pictures of everything and I'm sending them to you guys.
We all heard you. All of us heard you. You're going to do it. Yes.
I would be, me, Deb, I'd be making a movie and slow-mo, and Stacy be driving, I'd be editing, and I'm like, I'm going to make this a whole little series. Yeah, Elisa said, what? No pictures of the world's largest rubber band ball? Hey, so no time for that, no pictures, because they were all business. Look, at one point, one of you is driving, the other one's riding shotgun. Take a picture.
I will not forget to do it again.
All right, so speaking of, here's some of the goodies. Is that an old bowling bag in the front, or what is that?
Yes.
2 bowling bags
with bowling balls.
Nice.
I see a lot of Christmas goodies.
Yes.
Yep, those bowling balls. They'd be heavy.
Yeah, but they sell.
Okay.
Oh, you know what? I didn't really pay attention. I would just load the pictures up. That purple bowling bag. Wow.
Yeah. $2.
Awesome.
That 8 quarters.
Yes, that is 8 quarters.
8 quarters.
I don't see any tiki mugs or CDs in here. What the heck?
No,
but we did buy CDs and cassettes when we were in there's right there on top, that Christmas countdown calendar up there.
Yeah.
That's the $125 item.
Oh, wow.
And then I see Lamb Chop right there too.
Yeah,
Yep.
Macy's
cap on.
So that was also in that bin.
Some ornaments.
Wow.
Oh, we'll get back to that in a second.
Oh, I don't know where that. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm gonna let you plug yourself. So when you've done it in the past, is there ever a point when you lasted all 4 days?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
In fact, longer.
Longer.
The
Wait,
127
are people
sale.
still set up later?
Oh no, people will set up early. So even though it always starts the first Thursday of August, but
Right in the
larger cities, they'll set up the weekend before. So we used to go down on Tuesday and get our campsite set up, and then go out. We'd set up on Monday, and then Tuesday we would start buying, and we'd have 2 days of shopping before all the hordes of people showed up.
smart.
Good to know.
Yeah.
All right. So were any jackasses have printouts of eBay actives on their stuff?
I didn't see it, but you could definitely tell that they had shopped eBay because they were priced for eBay.
All
And
right.
I'm like, this is exactly what it would sell for on eBay. Exactly.
All right. So this is a great question. Is there anything you regretted buying that Kevin had to carry back to the car?
No,
No, not this time.
All right. Times
it
passed.
has happened, but not this time.
I bought things at flea markets, and then 2 minutes later, I'm like, why did I buy this? It's horrible.
Now, have you listed any of the items you bought then, and they've sold already?
Not sold any, but we have some listed.
Okay.
All the ball gloves and a few other items, but ball gloves were the first thing I grabbed.
So which Kentucky sale are you doing in October?
We're probably going to do the 400-mile sale, which is Route 68, I think.
All right.
But they're all three going on that weekend. So, and I've done the 68 sale before.
That's funny. If you price it at eBay, you better give me eBay's money back guarantee.
No kidding.
So
And I always laugh when I go to any sort of sale and they're priced for eBay. I mean, you can spot them a mile away, and you're just like, dude, you're not on eBay. Get over it. If you want to sell it on eBay, put it on eBay.
yeah, I was watching Car Boot Chris's one of his car boot videos, and just jealous that they're having all these car boot sales. And a lady's he's like, how much is this? And he's like, well, it's selling for $50 on eBay. Okay, well then go sell it on eBay.
Right.
And then she goes, $2.
Oh,
Or no, 250. And then when he at the end he goes, it's not selling for $50 on eBay, but it is selling for more than $2.50.
Wow.
All right. So is there a big bottleneck at certain spots? And how are people? Are they nice? Are they like, get the hell out of my way?
It's a little bit of everything. It depends on where you're at. I think the locals in the towns get tired of seeing everybody by the end of it, and they start getting a little bit rude.
Somebody slows down the park, and they're getting honked at on the highway.
Yeah. The mother lode to go to is Jamestown, Kentucky. That's where everybody wants to be. And they will, in all along the route, when you're in Kentucky and Tennessee, you will hear, you got to get to Jamestown. You got to get to Jamestown. Trust me, there's plenty of other areas around outside of Jamestown that are just as good as Jamestown. Jamestown's really crowded. It's really congested because everybody's trying to get there. So we only did Jamestown once ever. After that, we didn't bother to try because it was too crowded. I want to be in the areas where I have less competition.
Yeah.
I don't want to fight people for what I want to buy.
Now, have you ever done any of the part of it in Alabama?
No, I've never made it that far.
All right. So yeah, I'm wondering how that is, and how awfully muggy sweaty is it?
That's terrible. Terrible. So 90s,
Debbie's like, I'm out.
90s with 90% humidity.
I'll wait at hole 19 for all the rest of you. I'll be waiting there for all of you.
Kim would tell the horror stories of being in Kentucky. Of course, I'm at work, and we're talking in the evening, and I don't know how they did it. Either one of them, she or her mother.
One year we screwed up and we camped in this campground on the Kentucky River, and it was down in a gully, and there was no wind coming through. There was no breeze, and our camper did not have air conditioning.
Oh my
I
God.
literally thought we were going to die. Neither of us slept well. We ended up, I think, the last night driving the van up the hill and turning on the air conditioning just so we could get some sleep. And it's like, God, it was awful.
But you've gone back. You've been there 5 times. So
Oh yeah, it doesn't stop me.
Stacy and I, when we first were dating, we borrowed a friend's Explorer. This is back in the 90s. And we decided to take a 10-day road trip where we drove 3,000 miles. We went Cleveland to Lynchburg, Tennessee, down to visit my relatives in Alabama, across to Orlando, down to Key West, back to Cleveland.
Wow.
And we camped in Alabama, and I had never been in the South towards the end of summer. And so the campground had a pool. I'm like, oh, this is going to be refreshing. And I jumped in. I'm like, yuck. The pool is too hot. The air is too thick. This is horrible. Why are we camping? What is going on? But on that trip, and I didn't tell her this, I said, if I come home after 3,000 miles in 10 days with a smile, I should marry her. And I did, and we did.
Oh, we're so happy.
That's sweet.
All right. So, Kim, you have a day job, and your day job is right here.
Yes, I am the Director of Business Development and Partnerships for SKUVault. I've been there 6 years now. I started with them when they were a startup. I love my job. I love my company. But I truly miss doing this full-time too, but I like the money they pay me.
So for those who don't know, what is SKUVault?
SKUVault is a cloud-based warehouse management system for e-commerce sellers. So if you are if you're growing and you're having trouble keeping track of your inventory and getting things straightened out, we are one of the companies you would definitely want to look at, because we can help you get everything straightened out and sent out to all of the right venues correctly. Kevin uses it. We've used it for years, since before I worked there. We were SKUVault customers before I went to work for them. So good program, and we're continuing to grow.
I think it kind of tells you something about the company when you were a customer. You're like, yeah, I think I need to work here. So that kind of tells you, you're like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. All right. So let's end with your duds and scores. And let's get rid of my crap here. I thought this was paper, and then I'm like, nope.
No, they're vinyl pockets.
That's what I thought. Paper.
So what are they? I mean, what is it?
They're basically, if you have something that you want to put a credit card sized card or something on, it's a vinyl. It's a vinyl pocket that you will stick to whatever you're wanting to put it on. Like, used to be used for file folders, but we sold it and it got returned, or they wanted a return, and I said, keep it. I'm refunding you.
Yep, that would be a dud.
Yeah.
All day long.
Tell us about these Anchor Hawkins.
They're glasses.
Well,
they were not that we didn't make $1 or $2 on it. It's just that we had them for so long.
We did. We had them a long time. I'm a sucker for glass because, I'm an old time eBayer, and unfortunately glass doesn't sell like it used to. And so that's why you put sucker on my head when you talk about glass, because glass is not what it used to be, and I need to be careful when I buy it. And I bought that, and it sat for too long.
That's
on the other side, I probably paid $1 for it.
Oh, whoops. I just remembered. Well, crap. I think Nadine sent me the guest over top, or we don't have it yet. Yeah. I'll just put the scores up. There we go. Ta-da! Much better.
There we go.
All right, where'd you get this painting at?
At an auction. It was an auction buy, so it was real cheap. How much, I don't know.
One of the things that I have found is if you watch household auctions, I buy from a lot of auctioneers who do online auctions, and then you go and pick it all up. People don't bid on pictures. And I end up getting them really cheap. So now you guys are all going to be bidding against me. So stop it. But yeah, I end up buying a lot of pictures really cheap.
So I get to ship them.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
So, Angelique, you want to buy my shirt? All right. So I got a question. This is a great quilt. I can see most of the quilt in this picture, but not the whole thing. Aren't you ever concerned that if the customer goes, hey, there's a hole in the left corner, well, we can't really see the whole thing in this picture. So I'd be concerned for your well-being.
Well, and this one was one I hang things like that up and take pictures of them vertical. I could not get back far enough to get the whole thing.
Gotcha.
That's a big one. Like those San Marcos blankets we photographed.
Yeah,
I don't know crap about making quilts, but this seems like there's a lot of work in here.
Yeah.
Quilts are a labor of love.
They are.
But it was a really big one, and I just couldn't get far enough away to get the whole thing.
Wow, from the 1950s? That's as old as I am.
Yeah, me too.
Well, late 50s. I'm a late 50s.
I kind of like these little guys.
These are interesting because we got a good price for them. And when my mom and dad bought these when I was a little boy,
Oh.
so there really is no cost.
Are those really yours from when you were a little boy and you sold them?
Oh, we have his mom was a hoarder. So we have a lot.
Oh, you could wear those as earrings even.
Yeah, you can wear them as earrings.
Dad, they got a lot of stuff. They're trying to sell it.
I can't help it. That sentimental. You did that from your little boy. But hey,
I am not the keeper. I'd be like, take a picture of it, put it in a scrapbook, and let's sell it.
that's a good idea. Then it doesn't break. Or when you evacuate for a fire, you don't have to grab all that stuff.
Yeah, that too. But yeah, that's what that one was.
Now, I would not even look twice at this thing and think anything of it.
So I know Italian glass very well, and this is Italian glass. I have spent a lot of years learning about Italian glass, being able to tell the difference between the real thing and the knockoffs from China. And this is.
I hear a special secret beach typhoon webinar coming.
And this is Murano glass, and it's one of the best things about knowing Italian glass is that most people don't. And if the sticker is off of it, and it usually is, you can get some great buys. So usually I can pick things up like that for $5 and then turn around and sell them for $80 or $90.
Wow. So she doesn't want to teach the rest of us about it then.
I'm not a very good teacher.
Yes, you are. I've seen you talk.
Oh, you're a fabulous teacher. You have to be
Did I just get shushed? Did I just get shushed on my own show? I've never had that happen.
I don't know how to teach. I really don't. I'm not good at it.
Oh, you're doing it right now.
Kind of like the quilt. This is an awesome table, and I kept looking for a picture of it as a table, and I couldn't find one.
I didn't put it together for the picture.
I know.
But he sold it.
I know. That's what's even more awesome. I'm thinking, am I working too hard putting crap together?
And it's so funny because I was like, this has just been sitting too long. I'm just going to take it off eBay and I'm going to put it on buy, sell, trade. And then it sold.
The magic of the universe.
Yeah.
She said she told me to take it off, and I didn't.
Yeah.
And hey, this is for
I
tomorrow
put one
night.
leg on it so we could take a picture of the leg.
And you really shipped that? Ooh.
Yeah. There's a leaf in there that I took out to ship it. But yes, I did.
Wow. You and Big Daddy, you guys are the pros.
And this is for tomorrow night. This isn't kitschy. You tried.
It was the closest I had.
You swang, but it was a strike.
How
All
old
right.
is that? That's the difference. It's for Micah. That's old. It's kitschy.
Yeah.
I had one.
It's old. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have one that we use, and then I buy them whenever I see them because I know people like them.
Oh yeah, those are popular.
All right, so what's we'll end on this. What's the next sourcing thing that you're doing? What I mean, besides local, when's the next time you're getting in the car and pointing at someplace?
Probably in October. I don't think that we need to go out in September. We have stuff we need to get listed.
We got a lot.
I would prefer that we just hop in the car this weekend and go thrifting all weekend, but I'm smart enough to know that the garage is full and we need to empty it to the basement and list everything. So
Ooh, she's disciplined.
not always.
We're gonna hold you to that. We're gonna check on you, but make sure you carve out an hour and a half tomorrow night for a party.
Yeah, I heard.
Yes, our cocktail party.
And I'll have some alcoholic beverages then.
Oh, what'd you pay for that table?
Maybe $5
Of course.
and maybe $1, honestly.
Wow, you're in my mom territory.
Oh, yeah.
For a whole table.
Oh, I'm cheap.
Is that the one that has the table, the chairs?
So after all your experience in
yeah.
humility, how do you call it? Not humility, humidity, everything. Would you encourage people to actually like fly there and maybe rent we'd have to rent something to get all our stuff home because we're on the West Coast.
Oh, for sure.
So
For sure. I mean, but if I were you, I would rent something and drive it and then drive it back. That way you have a large vehicle to go back and forth. But for sure, that sale attracts people from all over the world. And there are places that you can go that are like the capitals of the sale, that they'll have signature boards where they'll track where people are from, or push pins. There was a guy on the sale when we were up in West Manchester, Ohio, and he was tracking on a push pin or a push board.
Where everybody was
And
from.
I tried to get a picture of it, but people wouldn't get out of my way for me to get a picture of it.
Picture, Jason.
I did try to get a picture of that because it was really cool, because he had everybody putting a push pin in for where they were from. And they were from all over the world. I was shocked. In Ohio, to go to the 127 sale. I'm like, how about that?
One more little detail about that table. Kim didn't buy it to sell it. She bought it because it also had 4 chairs that she wanted.
Yeah.
Oh, now
Wait, you bought a table for chairs for $5 or no?
Actually, and it was part of a
I
box.
gotta go to Vegas. I never see those kind of deals.
There was other stuff with it.
tell us more.
Yeah, no, I got
It had 6 place settings. It had a table, chandelier,
Typewriter.
maybe. There were 6 folding Costco chairs with it. Vintage. They were vintage Costco folding chairs that came with it, and I wanted those. And so we kept the chairs and we sold the table.
No, that's smart shopping.
Yeah.
That is smart shopping.
I know somebody in the comments, I think, asked about, I know we're wrapping up here, COVID. Everybody had masks. That was no issue.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, good.
I'm very cautious
Yeah.
with my history.
Yes.
So I'm, if I'm in an area where I'm not comfortable, I'm not in there anymore. I'm gone.
Okay.
Yeah, everyone had masks. I feel like everybody was really cautious. We always carry wipes. We always have hand sanitizer with us. We had water and we had paper towels. The only real city, town, whatever, where we were at this time was Eaton. And I wouldn't exactly call it a mecca, but anyway.
It's just a county seat.
Yeah, we could at least stop there and wash our hands and grab a bite to eat.
Good.
Because that can be hard to find.
I have to go to Costco and buy one of those little wagon thingies that you pull behind you so I can go
Really need one of those.
Yeah.
fill it up, bring bags, my own. Did you bring your bubble wrap?
We bought newspaper and we bought fraud bags and boxes.
Yeah. And we have we kept forgetting to put our wagon in the van, and now the wagon lives in the van. Because it's ridiculous that we kept walking around with crap instead, and when we own a wagon. And it was sitting in our garage.
Nice.
Did a third.
And the van
How was it doing in the garage?
for hauling. I mean, it's an extra vehicle except for when we go to pick up things.
Yeah. What was that, Jason?
How was it doing in the garage?
Yeah, I don't know. I was being stupid. And the thing is, we had gone to the flea market over in Springfield, and we were like, God, we have a wagon. We need to put it in the van. And we forgot. And then we went to the 127 sale and forgot again.
There is the fall one in Springfield next month.
Wow. This is just incredible because I'm so jealous. All the history's back there, the antiques and all the good stuff. And
Yeah. Well, and I'm, like I said, I'm a foolish glass person, and being in Ohio, you can find lots of really cool glass.
Yeah.
So there is some good glass. You just have to be a little more careful because there's a lot of historic stuff there too.
see, that would be my problem. I'd be like, no, I want to go downtown. I want to see all the historical museums, and I want to see all that kind of stuff instead of be out garage selling. I love it.
I want to go pick stuff up and make money.
And I may have to start with the Rose Parade, or the Rose, what do they call it? The Rose Bowl flea market down in Southern California before I tackle that big one back there.
You've never been to the Rose Bowl?
No.
What?
No.
You live in the same state. You told everybody you're old. You've never been to the Rose Bowl?
I know, and I have family
Have you been to Long Beach?
Yes. Yeah, I've been to Long Beach.
No, the flea market,
No.
not just the city. Have you been?
We haven't been to the one in Alameda either, which is just kind of around the corner.
What is happening right now? You haven't been to one in Alameda? How about the Treasure Island? How about the Treasure Island one?
I have been there once, and
All right,
with our friends, it really has changed from what they told us. It's a lot more, I know it's different now, a lot of more new stuff and crafts, arts and crafts and things. But so I have been there. Check that one.
All right. Rose Bowl's good. I actually prefer Long Beach better.
Okay, good to know.
All right. We will continue our own conversation after the show's over. Dad, what are you doing? What are you watching?
Actually, we're trying to get on eBay. We're having the
Yeah, I know. So I'll let you get out of here.
we're
All
trying
right,
to
Kim and Kevin.
we can't get on the eBay upfront's having some issues, so that's what we're going to be watching when we get on.
Thank you very much. Everyone enjoyed hearing your firsthand experience, and I want to invite everyone to join us all next year because we're going to do it next year. Not that we can hang together, but if we all end up in the same area, we can definitely meet for drinks and dinner and discuss the day's find. So
That would be awesome.
Yes.
That was a dream. Yes.
that's what I plan on doing. So thank you guys. Get to listing. Hire the local teenager to take all your photos.
Thanks
Get
for
that
having me.
stuff listed, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the Cedar Beach cocktail party.
Yep.
Cool.
Yes. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Yes, thanks everybody. Thanks, Deb. Good to see you. Glad your house is safe. And have a good night, everybody. Don't forget, no show Sunday because mom's busy. Mom's busy. We'll be back here next Thursday night talking vintage. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.